Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Protocol Pegasus here, bringing it back to you guys in Remnant from the Ashes, and today we'll be taking a look at the Voice of the Storm build. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? So my character is going to be as followed. For the sidearm, I am using the machine pistol. Tied into it is going to be the weapon mod known as Swarm. From there, my primary is going to be Eye of the Storm. Tied into it is the weapon mod known as Static Field Shot. From there, I'm using the melee weapon known as Voice of the Tempest. Tied into it has the Lightning Shock perk pre-applied onto it. From here, I am using the armor set known as the Cultist. I'm using the helmet as well as the chest piece for it. From there, the armor set bonus is going to be as followed, known as Blood Pack. Blood Pack will increase the mod duration for this particular build by about 60%. And will also allow me to regen my mods very slowly, but over time. From there, I am using the Labyrinth's Grease as my final armor set piece for my pants. That's going to give me the armor set bonus known as Power Surge. Power Surge will increase my damage output by 15%. And it will allow me to refund 10% of my mod duration once I had used the mod already. Moving on, I am using the amulet known as Storm Amulet. Then I'm using the first ring known as the Prismatic Diamond Ring, and then I'm using the second ring known as Spirit Stone. With all that being said, I'll show you guys exactly how this all synergizes together momentarily. But for now, let's go ahead and jump over into the traits. Now, the traits are going to be as followed. From there, I highly recommend utilizing Spirit trait, which increases mod power generation. From there, I recommend utilizing Wisdom. Wisdom is going to increase elemental damage. And then, last but not least, I recommend using Evocation, which increases mod damage output. I am a firm believer of utilizing every trait possible within the course of your builds, just because of the fact that they all synergize really well and it capitalized on an all-around really nice build. Since there is no cap limit within the course of this game, as you can clearly see, I have every trait maxed. You can easily go about doing so accordingly. But enough talk, let's jump into some gameplay, shall we? Real quick, guys, just wanted to let you know that 94% of you guys that end up watching my videos and happen to enjoy them aren't subscribed, so just be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's completely free, and if you don't like me, you can always unsubscribe later, but it really does help me out. Thanks, guys. Alright, so we're going to go over into pros and cons of this particular build. From there, we are playing on Nightmare mode over in the city. One of the pros of this set build is that you will have a lot of single target damage output from your primary weapon known as Eye of the Storm. From there, utilizing its mod, you can burst people down rather quickly and be able to capitalize on the AoE explosion that set mod ends up giving off. From there, you have a high amount of burst potential with that alone. But from your sidearm, with the Swarm mod attached onto that set sidearm, you can actually not only get the burst potential off of your primary weapon, but along with the Swarm mod attached into your sidearm as well, making you a force to be reckoned with, especially when coming up against bosses or any elites that happen to cross your path. So that is one pro for this particular build. Another pro for this build is that you are wearing two light piece sets, so what that means is that you will be very, very fast and nimble, so you won't have to worry about having a slower dodge or anything along the sorts. You'll be able to kite around your enemies just fine without worrying about getting caught in the crossfire from a slower based dodge roll. So that is always good to know when approaching multiple enemies in the corridor. Speaking of approaching multiple enemies, another pro with this particular build is that you do have a little bit of AoE potential. As you can clearly see here, the shock damage that's coming off of your primary allows you to actually pulsate and damage nearby enemies that happen to be around that set mod. So from there, once that's applied onto the target, it will pulse and explode after you hit the target again with another attack from the primary rifle you're using. So that will allow a massive AoE pulse, and then from there just mow down your enemies accordingly. And since you do have the Swarm mod attached, the Swarm will instantly jump from target to target to target until that target is set dead, or the Swarm dissipates from the timer it has on it. So in that regard, you'll have a lot of AoE potential. Even though this build's more directed towards a single target output, you'll still have a decent amount of AoE potential to deal with a large group of ads pretty effectively. From there, one of the cons I would say of this particular build is that you do run out of ammo rather quickly. Another thing is that you are very, very lackluster when you don't have your mods up. So from there, a lot of your damage does come from your mods, so you want to be cautious of that. Another form factor with this build too is that you actually don't have any form of survivability whatsoever, so you want to utilize your consumables a lot to be able to capitalize on any form of like healing potential, because if you don't, you'll just end up getting bursted down rather quickly. So you want to be very cautious of that and make sure that you're constantly using blood wards or dragon hearts in order to self-sustain yourself. But as long as you're playing cautiously and you're not running and gunning, then from there you should be able to approach every situation pretty healthy. But yep, that's pretty much it, guys, with the overall build. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend giving it a try. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can feel free to post them down below in the comment section. From there, I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys happen to have. And if you guys aren't already, just be sure to subscribe. That will allow you to get notifications in regards to all my latest and greatest content. And from there, it would also allow you to keep tabs on any time I happen to go live. So yeah, with all that being said, guys, I hope you have a real good day, and I hope to see you guys real soon. Later.